Nice place.
What up, man? How you
Brian,
doing?
what's up, man?
Hey, what's good? Welcome to my house. Good seeing you, dude.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, you wanna come on in? I'll show you around.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Brian,
Sean.
thank you for having me in your palatial home.
Of course, welcome.
It reminds me of the Beyonce video, Irreplaceable, for some reason. Well, the reason that we're here is to talk about your new album, and I think that a good place to start is with the lead single, Yellow.
Right.
What's the significance of that?
It's about identity. Specifically, it's about Asian identity, but it's like, it's something that I think a lot of people can relate to, even if you're not, even if you're not Asian. It's just kind of like, because the first part of the song, I'm kind of like feeling suffocated and kind of like going through the struggle. And then on the second part of the song, it's like this hopeful kind of feeling, and I'm just breaking out of it. And it just shows people that, you can go through struggle and just come out of it in like a victorious way. And it's kind of me proclaiming that, like, Asian people can do this shit. And like, I think that's really important. So I felt like I needed to do that.
And then the name of the album is evocative too, The Sailor. Who's the Sailor?
The Sailor is me, and like all the kids that feel like they're very curious and very determined, and just kids who are explorers and are not afraid to like explore just uncharted territories. And that's what I was kind of trying to get at. And, because that's what I am, and that's what I was. And and then it's also just like, it's also a metaphor about all the, immigrants that came to America to live a better life and to have this opportunity. It's kind of crazy. Like, I realized that, I'm probably gonna have kids one day, and like, I don't know where I'm gonna have kids, but if I do have kids in America, it's like I'm like that Asian parent, that moved here. And I started thinking about all the Asian parents and like all the, not even just Asian, just like any immigrants. Like, it's a crazy journey, man. It's just like, I'm just kind of talking about, the people that are brave enough to like leave literally their whole lives and like, in their home country to just move to somewhere that they've never been before, to a place that they don't know anything about. Yeah.
And it's a topic that you reference a couple times in the album, and I'll just point to two lines. One of them, we crossed oceans for a chance just to feel something better. And then another, got a full clip, don't even carry no guns, don't need no ice, feel like I'm 21. I know that you have history with 21 Savage, and then of course, he ended up in a situation with his immigration status.
Yes. I remember when that was happening, that was like a pretty like scary time. Like, people, like, it became memes, and then like people were laughing at it, but like I was like looking at my phone like, oh shit, this is like pretty real. Like, this is crazy that it's happening to a rapper that is like famous as fuck. Like what's gonna happen to me? You know what I mean? Like, who knows like what could happen to me? And it's just kind of like, it's a crazy thing. Like, as an immigrant, it's like you don't know like what's gonna happen to you. It's like one day I might not be able to enter this country anymore for whatever reason. So, this is the Nicholas Copernicus room, named after the great astronomer and mathematician, Nicholas Copernicus. And this is where I write a lot of my stuff. What are you looking at?
It's beautiful out here. I can see how you get inspiration.
I actually wrote 2 songs off my album in here. I wrote Yellow in here, and then I wrote Kids in here.
Yeah, with a feather pen, I can see that.
Yeah. Yellow, I did it with the feather pen, and then Kids, I wrote it with the typewriter, because typewriters are just faster, and then when you're really inspired, you just want to lay down those ideas rapidly. And I got this on eBay, really cheap actually. It's $2,000. Yeah.
And then this. Did you shoot the history video on this, or?
Yeah, we actually shot the Yellow music video on this with Dave Myers. This is the Red Dragon, first edition. They don't make this anymore, so can you not touch that? All right, cool, thank you.
When you came to the United States, it wasn't to go to college. You know, you came and then immediately joined 88 Rising and then became this famous rapper.
Right.
Did you experience any moments of culture shock? Like, when did it seem totally different?
Absolutely. It was when I first came into a Trader Joe's, and then every single white person just looked at me. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm in a completely different country right now. And also the first time I experienced snow, that was fucking wild. That was crazy.
Was that in New York?
That was, yeah. And then, let me think, another culture shock moment. I think when I went to Hooters in LA. I've never been to a place like that at all. I don't think, yeah, I've never experienced that. And then, I remember first like landing in Miami, and then this girl with like the biggest ass just like came up to me and then asked to take a picture, and then I'm like, yeah, sure. That was like one of the first photos I've ever gotten from like American fans.
Salute.
Exactly. And then she like did this to my hair. It's like, loosen up, you're in Miami now. And I'm like, oh fuck, what am I getting into right now? But yeah, that was yeah, culture shock, man. Most of it though, I kind of already knew what I was going into, because I've looked at like America so much like through the internet, and just like I've had American friends, so it's not as bad.
So when I think of you, I think of somebody who has a PhD in internet culture. You know, I know that you've been tweeting since before you were 11 years old, and then of course we talked about how you learned English through YouTube. Are you still that internet guy?
I think so, yeah. I mean, sometimes I would go on like periods where I just don't tweet anything, but I'm always just on Twitter. I'm always watching, and that's what people don't know. I always like look at every single mention that everybody tweets at me, because I love reading that shit. And
are you still on YouTube?
I'm definitely still on YouTube. I always watch videos every day, because like right now I'm obsessed with steaks. So I've been watching this guy named Guga Foods, and I really hope he sees this video and shouts me out. But I fucking love the internet, man. There's so much weird shit in there, and I'm always gonna be just like deep into that. Yeah, so this is the piano, and I write a lot of my music here. And what I do most of the time is I like to just press random buttons in the piano.
Buttons.
I just kind of press it until it sounds like it makes sense. And there's this thing called the devil scale. Have you heard of it?
No. It's the double scale.
It's like a combination of like keys that was banned. Actually, it was illegal for a while, because when people hear it, it kind of makes them feel a certain way. It makes them feel kind of like rebellious. And I guess the government was just trying to like keep people,
Right. It'd be like the purge outside.
Exactly,
You know?
just like keep them chill. But it's not illegal anymore, so we could play it. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah,
Are you ready to hear the deal? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit makes me want to commit an armed robbery.
Me too.
So I feel like in a lot of ways you're experiencing this contemporary idea of the American dream, but I'm sure that it comes with its fair share of sort of specific anxieties for you, like whether it's experiencing fame, leaving home, feeling this pressure to produce. What are your coping mechanisms? You know, is it just
Jerking
cooking?
off.
Is it just cooking steaks?
Yes, right now it's cooking steaks. Something that I've been doing recently is I've been painting while listening to Mozart on my Bose Bluetooth speakers. So my dad paints, and he like taught me how to draw as a kid. So I kind of have I can kind of draw. So I just bought multiple canvases and some paint brushes and some paint from Amazon. And I would just like start painting like when I have absolutely nothing to do, and I just feel like I just want to feel peace for a little bit. I just like go on Mozart's Spotify and just like play the top 5 songs, and I just like paint whatever is on my mind.
Classical caviar.
Exactly. Yeah, they should have that. But that's one of my coping mechanisms. I meditate sometimes. I found out about this thing called the tapping technique.
What's
that? So there's like points in your body. It's like there's like right here. So you tap right here, and then there's like an app that can guide you through it. But if you tap right here and you're like, you address all the things that you're stressed out about that day. You're like, okay, even though I have the shoot today and I really don't want to fucking do it, and I have to eat a lot of hot wings, I still love and accept myself. You know what I mean? That's like part of it. And then you move on to like your eyebrow, like right here. It's like, and then you say like, even though I hate interviewing artists that I really don't care about, I still love and accept myself. And then you move on to like under the eye. Even though my watch is really nice, but I have a really small dick, I still love and accept myself. And then there's like right there, and then right here, and then like right here, and then like on the top of your head, and then like the collarbone. So these are like kind of acupuncture points, I think. So what happens when you do this, and this is like scientifically proven too, is when you kind of tap these points while saying these like kind of nice things and like addressing all the things that you're stressed out about. It's like you're like thinking about all the shit that stresses you out, but you're doing it while calming your nerves. So you're basically kind of rewiring your brain and making kind of like your brain associate these things with like calmness. And so you're supposed to like think about these things and like not feel that stress anymore. So I've only been doing it for like 3 days, so I don't know shit. But I'm gonna keep
But
doing
I'm
it.
sold. I'm running with it.
Exactly. So yeah.
All right, getting back to the music, early on in your career, you'd have these comedic references to money and guns or
Right.
whatever. But then now the boasts are so specific that I know they come from a real place, whether it's
Yeah.
having a new home with a backyard or being on late night TV with James
Yeah,
Corden.
getting a new fucking grill.
Yeah, what have been some of the highlights, the hallmarks of now like getting older, experiencing more success?
I would say, you know, purchasing this house was my biggest like hallmarks, and this is
You made it, dude.
I really did. This is really beautiful. And then like getting a sous vide machine. I started cooking like perfect steaks with that shit.
On the topic of steaks, is this like your gym rat protein intake, or is there something cathartic about cooking up these meats?
Dude, I haven't gone to the gym in like 2 months, honestly.
I wouldn't be able to tell.
You really? Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm obsessed with cooking steaks right now, at least. This is my current hobby.
Yeah.
My whole thing is not even like that I need to eat a lot of steaks for protein or anything. It's more for security in my mind, like knowing that I can cook the perfect steak like every time just by feeling it. And like I have to do it like almost every day to practice that, you know what I mean? And it's just like such a good feeling just knowing that, you know, you're like that friend that like can cook really good steaks. I love steaks, dude. It's fire.
You had one of the great Hot Ones quotes, and we still talk about it to this day. And that was when you said that cooking, I want to make sure I get it right.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember this?
I definitely remember this.
You said,
Let's say it at the same time.
okay.
1, 2, 3.
Cooking for
some
people is such a
like
pure
the
thing to do. It's like saying I love you without saying it.
Yes, perfect.
Are you cooking for anyone these days?
No, I'm just cooking for myself because I fucking love myself, dude.
That's important.
Yes, but I will cook for you if you want to.
All right, deal.
So this is the kitchen where the steaks are made.
Well, I know that you've been checking out the YouTube tutorials
Yeah.
on how to make steaks, so take this one away.
All right. Hey guys, this is Rich Brian, and this is how you make the perfect steak. Today we have the ribeye steak. It looks like a choice grade. I would prefer usually more marbling than this. I got some kosher salt, so you can, you know, season the steak pretty generously. And it's like a pretty thick cut, so just make sure you get this shit tasting good. So fun fact about the ribeye steak, this is the eye, and this right here is called the ribeye cap. That's like the best part of a ribeye steak. And if you season it and then you wait 30 minutes, that's even better, because what the salt is gonna do is tenderize the steak. And you gotta make sure that you get this garlic powder in there too. Garlic powder is my favorite shit to put on a steak, because who doesn't love garlic? If you don't like garlic, I don't fucking like you. So I'm gonna heat up my pan. And what I have here is some olive oil. Usually my rule of thumb is if the oil starts kind of smoking a little bit, that's like the perfect time for you to put your steak in. Because if it starts smoking, it's definitely gonna sizzle, and you need that sizzle. All right, let's fucking do this. You fucking hear that? That is beautiful. That is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. Just wait for like 2-4 minutes and then flip it. And then when we flip it, we're gonna put the butter in. I'm gonna check and see if we have enough crust right now. Okay, so got that crust in there. And then now I'm gonna flip it over. I like medium rare. I think medium rare is the best way to eat a steak. I know a couple people that eat steaks well done. Well, I used to know them because when they told me that they like their steaks well done, I stopped being friends with them. I think it's time to put the butter in, so. Let's put a whole leaf of rosemary and just take a couple cloves of garlic and I just crush it, just like that. Put this near the butter, so we just gotta base the steak with it. As we do this, we can also start to flip the steak around and make sure that we get the crust on all sides. So as you can see, on that side, it's very well crusted. But you want to make sure that every side of the steak has a nice sear to it. Yeah. This makes me very happy, and this is why I do this. And I recommend that you do it too. So that is beautiful. I'm gonna take the steak out. And I'm gonna let the steak rest. The reason why you wanna let your steak rest is because when meat gets cooked, it tenses up and it just becomes kind of tough. And when you let it rest, you're kind of letting the meat just kind of chill out a little bit. And it's gonna release like all these juices. What you're seeing is not blood. It's actually called myoglobin, and it's a type of protein. So we can wait like 5-10 minutes to let the steak rest. All right, so that's how I cook my steaks.
Well, it looks amazing.
Thank
I'd
you.
love to try it out.
All right, so it's a moment of truth. Let's cut this open. Oh, okay.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah. It's like medium rare. How is it?
That's a good steak.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
It's got a nice sear.
Yeah.
Very crisp on the outside.
All right.
Soft, juicy, tender on the inside.
Perfect.
Well
Okay.
seasoned.
Thank you. Do you see that this is what happens when you cook with love, ladies and gentlemen?
Garlicky, buttery.
Holy shit. That was good. You
did good.
That was good.
You did good.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. I'm pretty happy about this.
You're proud of yourself.
Yeah.
You should be.
Yeah. So yeah, let's leave the rest. My royal tasters will be coming in shortly.
The Royal Tasters.
Yeah, the people that taste my food. Do you want to check out the rest of the house?
Yeah, I'm excited
Let's do
to.
it. All right.
Are you out there? Are you on dating apps? What's your situation?
I'm on. I'm not gonna say what dating apps I'm on, but I'm on like some. I'm on a couple, and cooking food is actually kind of my move. I fucking hate going out, man. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just lazy or what, but I just don't want to like go to a restaurant and meet somebody that I've never met for the first time.
Same.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's just like, I would do that with my friends. It's cool. But if I've never met you before, I'd rather invite you to my house. Like makes no sense. But it's just, I don't know, it's just like a nice, like intimate experience. And we could like go to the grocery store together and get ingredients, and then we figure out what we want to cook, and then we like cook in my house. And that whole process, I feel like is so fun. And you can like bond over it. It's like a team building experience. It's like the foreplay. And I think it's perfect, And girls love guys who cook, I think.
Are there any parallels to making a steak and making an album? Like, are any of those obsessions that you're channeling similar?
Dude, what if like That's true. What if you're like my therapist right now and you're noticing these things
feel
that
like
I'm
it a little
obsessed
bit.
with in my life?
Yeah.
And turns out it's because I just like love making albums. I would say the similarities of cooking steaks and like making an album is you if you sit on it for too long, it's just gonna taste like shit. And if you sit on an album for too long and just don't put it out, you're just gonna hate it. Even no matter how good it is, no matter how much you love it, with the first time you made it, if you listen to it too much, like you're not gonna see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's the same with episodes.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
if you're in the edit on it or whatever, you
Yeah.
know, you have such a great experience in the studio, and then you love the raw, and then you're like cutting it up, and then the things that make you laugh, like the first 30 times you watch them,
Yeah.
they stop making you laugh, and then you're
Exactly.
looking at this like finished product, and you're like, wait a second, does this thing suck?
Exactly.
You know? And then you put it out into the world, and
Yeah, you only like hear people's thoughts on it and how much they love it, and just kind of like wishing that they're not lying. That's art. That's basically art. So this is my art studio.
wow.
I like to paint pictures of dogs. These are actually all my dogs. I have collectively about 12. And all these dogs are actually from Asia. I have the Shiba Inu from Japan, and then the Peking is from China, the Kintamani from Indonesia, and the Shar-Pei, also from China. And this right here is it's a work in progress. I'm still not sure what breed this is. Usually it kind of comes to me
Right.
in the middle of the progress, but all right, that's enough for today. Her name is Rory. She's a really fun, cheerful dog.
She looks fun.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing that I don't like about her though, she kind of scares the shit out of me sometimes. Like at night, I'd be like just trying to sleep, and then she would just like start laughing. You ever hear a dog laugh? She can laugh, dude. It's fucked up. And over here we have Satan. I named him Satan because he's a very peaceful dog, and his favorite thing to do is play fetch. And I would throw him like a rubber ball. Some days he wouldn't come back for a couple of days, but then he would always bring something when he's back.
And it wasn't
Usually-
always the red ball, was it?
It wasn't always the red ball. Usually it would be human bones. So.
Where's this collection going? What are you doing?
eBay. It's gonna be
You're
up
trying
there.
to flip a painting, make a buck.
Absolutely. It's gonna be really expensive, but you know, everybody's gonna eat it up. So
What are you gonna do with all the money that you make flipping these on eBay?
more dogs. I'll just keep getting more and more dogs. Maybe cats one day. Nah, dogs.
So there's a lot more variation in your flow, in your writing, in your tone in this album. So let me just hit you with a few lyrics that stood out to me, and then
Hit
you
me.
can pull back the curtain on these,
Hit me.
okay? And this first one is, the time flies when you spend your nights in the West End. I didn't know that snakes come in the form of a best friend, which is like a Drake level of angst.
Damn, Drake is pretty angsty, huh?
Brian's angsty.
Yeah, I'm growing up and shit. I'm like hitting puberty as I go, but when I was writing that line, I was just, it was over this beat, and you'll hear it in the song too, but like it's like the most aggressive sounding beat ever. And then it was like nighttime, and I was by myself, and I was in an Airbnb. I still didn't have my home, and I was angry. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? So I started to talk about the hotel, the West End, how great it is, and talking about snakes that are, you know, that can be your best friends, but you don't know it, and that's just something that you learn when you grow up and you make a lot of money.
And you get bit. And you get bit.
You get bit, dude. This music industry is the industry of the snake and the rabbit. As me, Sean, and Joji talk about, like to say, it's you can either be the snake or the rabbit. It's your choice.
You can eat or be eaten.
Exactly.
One more for you. Shout out my parents. My mother gave birth to 4 winners. All of the players in the game, it's always cold benches. What do your parents and siblings think of this career that you have?
I think they're really supportive. They've been really supportive, actually. I'm sure it's weird just because, you know, I don't see them as much now. But I think they just like, they know how big the shit is, and like they're just really excited about everything, which is such a, I can't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have my parents' support. Like, just because, you know, it's, no matter how big your dreams are, it's really tough.
Right.
Like, you know, if your parents didn't support you, you just kind of, because your parents just like mean so much to you, you would just have that kind of just like feeling like, oh shit, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. But my parents were just nothing but supportive. So if you're a parent out there and your kids have dreams, fucking support it. Because your kids will be a cool person like me. I've been such a cocky asshole in this video. It's cool though. I love it.
Well, dude, look at your house, man.
Exactly.
How you supposed to remain humble? How you supposed to remain humble when you're living like this? Wow, this bathroom's sick, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, these styles are from Germany. The glass is from eBay.
Are you going to take a bath?
Is the temperature good for you? Are you coming in?
You and I actually crossed paths semi-recently in LA for a shoot, and I think now is as good a time as any to let the cat out of the bag.
Should we let the cat out of the bag?
Let's let the cat out of the bag.
All right. We have a new season of Feast Mansion, that's right. That show where me and Joji cooked food with chefs, but this time it's not just me and Joji, it's me, Joji, Nikki, Smoke Perp came through, and who else came through?
I came through?
Oh, you came through, that's right, you came this time. And then Mello from High Brothers. Oh, and Chef Ludo came back.
Ludo taught you the omelet the first time around.
Yes.
How was it hanging out the second time?
The second time was great. We were making hamburgers, and I think he liked it.
He liked your
He
omelet?
called me chef.
Whoa.
He called me chef at one point.
He doesn't just give those away for free.
Never happened before. On camera, too.
Well, you're only 19 years old. You've touched music, you've touched hosting, and then, of course, cooking.
Right.
What's next for Rich Brian?
I'm trying to be in a movie, man. I just need one more medium to look cool in, you know? Because
Yeah.
I already have, like, music, and I have cooking. But, like, being cool in a movie is another level of cool. I feel like if you land a role like Noah Centineo just once, like, you get a lot of Instagram followers, and they're all just like girls that love you. And I feel like I need that in my life. So I'm gonna explore acting.
Well, thank you so much for having me in your palatial estate, Rich Brian.
Thank you.
I'm happy to see that you're living big.
Thank you.
And that you're dreaming big.
Of course, you can stay for however long you want. Because
All right,
you know,
I'm
this
moving
house
in.
has so much space, so
I'm
like I
moving
wouldn't even
in.
realize that you're here, so it's cool.
What's over here? This looks cool.
No, don't worry about that, man. It's all good. Let's continue the tour.